Along the Mediterranean coast of southern Turkey lies a landscape filled with the remains of forgotten cities. More than 2,000 years ago, this region was part of Ancient Cilicia, a crossroads between Anatolia, Syria, Cyprus, and the wider Mediterranean world. Merchants sailed into its harbors. Roman roads crossed its mountains. Temples, theaters, baths, tombs, and monumental streets rose where today we find silent ruins. Some of these cities stood directly beside the sea. One grew around an enormous natural sinkhole. Another developed around one of the most important sanctuaries of ancient Cilicia. And one city was transformed by a Roman general whose name it still carries today. In this documentary, we will travel across modern Mersin on Turkey's Mediterranean coast to discover 5 remarkable ancient cities: Anamurium, Kanlidivane, Diocaesarea, Soli-Pompeiopolis, and Elaiussa Sebaste. 5 cities, 5 different stories, and one forgotten corner of the ancient Mediterranean world.
Chapter 1. The city at the edge of the Mediterranean.
Anamurium. At the southern edge of modern Anamur, where the Taurus Mountains meet the Mediterranean Sea, lie the ruins of Anamurium. In antiquity, the city stood in the western part of rough Cilicia and occupied an important position along the maritime routes of the eastern Mediterranean. Its location also connected settlements in the Anatolian interior with the sea. The exact date of Anamurium's foundation is unknown, but its name appears in an ancient harbor list, indicating that a settlement existed here by at least the 4th century BC. The city's importance increased during the Roman period. Its proximity to Cyprus made Anamurium a useful stopping point for maritime travel and trade, while a road connected it with settlements farther inland. Much of what visitors see today belongs to the Roman and Byzantine periods. The ruins include baths, public buildings, defensive walls, and one of the site's most impressive features, its vast necropolis. Hundreds of tomb structures spread across the landscape, creating an extraordinary city of the dead beside the remains of the living city. Anamurium, therefore, offers something unusual. It is not simply an ancient ruin. It preserves both the public life of a Mediterranean city and the monumental world that its inhabitants created for their dead. Standing beside the blue waters of the Mediterranean today, it is difficult to imagine that this quiet coastline once formed part of a busy network connecting Anatolia, Cyprus, and the eastern Mediterranean. Chapter 2. The Ancient City Around the Abyss. Kanlidivane, about 50 kilometers west of the city of Mersin, lies one of the strangest archaeological landscapes in southern Turkey. Its ancient name was Kanytella. Today, it is known as Kanlidivane. What makes this settlement extraordinary is immediately obvious. The ancient city developed around a vast natural sinkhole. The depression measures roughly 142 meters in length, 95 meters in width, and reaches a depth of about 50 meters. For the people who lived here, this enormous opening in the earth became the physical center of their settlement. Occupation at Kanytella began in the Hellenistic period, around the 3rd century BC, and continued into late antiquity. One of its most important early structures is a Hellenistic tower built near the edge of the sinkhole. An inscription indicates that it was dedicated to Zeus Olbios. The walls of the sinkhole preserve another remarkable feature: ancient rock reliefs. One depicts a soldier. Another represents members of a family, giving modern visitors a rare glimpse of individuals who lived here nearly 2,000 years ago. The settlement also contains monumental tombs and several important early Christian churches, showing how the character of the site changed through the centuries. Even the modern name carries mystery. One interpretation connects Kanli with the reddish color of the surrounding rocks and Divane with assemblies held here by later Turkmen groups. A darker local legend claims criminals were thrown into the sinkhole. There is no need for legend, however, to make Kanlidivane dramatic. An ancient community built around a 50-meter deep natural abyss is remarkable enough. Chapter 3. The Sacred City in the Mountains. Diocaesarea, Uzuncaburç. Leaving the Mediterranean coast and traveling about 30 kilometers north of Silifke brings us into the mountains of Ancient Cilicia. Here stands Uzuncaburç, the ancient city of Diocaesarea. Long before it became a Roman city, this location was an important religious center associated with the sanctuary of Zeus Olbios. During the Hellenistic period, the sanctuary formed the heart of a temple state connected with the rulers of nearby Olba. Its monumental character is still visible today. The most famous structure is the temple of Zeus Olbios. It was surrounded by a single row of 36 Corinthian columns and is considered an important early example of this architectural form in Anatolia. Centuries later, as Christianity spread through the region, the temple was transformed into a church. That single building, therefore, preserves traces of two very different religious worlds. Under Roman rule, the settlement developed into the city known as Diocaesarea. Monumental streets, a theater, ceremonial gateways, a nymphaeum, and the Temple of Tyche were added to the urban landscape. One of the most recognizable monuments is the tall Hellenistic tower from which the modern Turkish name Uzuncaburç, meaning roughly tall tower, derives. The tower was more than a lookout. It could serve as a place of refuge and as a secure location for valuable possessions. What makes Uzuncaburç particularly fascinating today is the survival of so many historical layers in one place. Hellenistic sanctuary, Roman city, Christian bishopric, and later a Turkish village built among the ancient ruins. Here, history was not simply buried beneath the ground. For centuries, people continued living directly among it. Chapter 4. From Pirates to Rome. Soli-Pompeiopolis. Our next destination lies in modern Mezitli, within today's metropolitan area of Mersin. Here stand the remains of Soli-Pompeiopolis. The city already existed centuries before Roman rule. Coins struck at Soli in the 5th century BC show that it possessed a significant degree of local identity, and during the Hellenistic period, it prospered under Seleucid influence. But the most dramatic chapter in its history came in the 1st century BC. The eastern Mediterranean had become notorious for piracy. In 67 BC, the Roman commander Pompey launched a major campaign against the pirates. As part of the political reorganization that followed, some former pirates were settled in the depopulated city of Soli. The city's name was then changed to Pompeiopolis, the city of Pompey. It is an extraordinary transformation. A city damaged by conflict became part of Rome's solution to Mediterranean piracy. Under Roman rule, Soli-Pompeiopolis recovered much of its prosperity. Emperor Hadrian visited Cilicia in the 2nd century AD and provided financial support for harbor works at Soli. Even today, remains of the ancient harbor can still be identified along the coastline. But the most visually striking monument is the Great Colonnaded Street. 33 columns remain standing today, some once carrying consoles for statues or busts of Roman emperors and officials. Imagine arriving here nearly 2,000 years ago, ships in the harbor, merchants moving through the streets, imperial images above the columns. Soli-Pompeiopolis was not a forgotten outpost. It was a city deeply connected to the political and commercial world of Rome.
Chapter 5. The Forgotten Mediterranean Port. Elaiussa Sebaste, only a short distance farther along the Mediterranean coast, lies another remarkable ancient city. Elaiussa Sebaste is located in the modern district of Erdemli, near Ios. The settlement was founded by the late 2nd century BC and developed in a strategically valuable position on the coastal route linking Anatolia with Syria. Natural resources, agricultural production, and access to the sea helped transform it into an important commercial and production center. Between the Hellenistic Age and late antiquity, Elaiussa Sebaste became a substantial Mediterranean city. Its surviving remains reveal just how developed it once was. There was a theater, an agora, baths, temples, a large necropolis, early Christian basilicas, production facilities, and an extensive system for supplying water.
Roman engineering brought water from the Lamos, today's Limonlu River, through channels, tunnels, and aqueducts. The necropolis is particularly impressive. Ancient roads run between stone sarcophagi and monumental tombs, some of which still preserve inscriptions and relief decoration. These inscriptions remind us that ancient cities were inhabited by individuals, families, and communities. People concerned with wealth, status, religion, and how they would be remembered after death. Elaiussa Sebaste flourished for centuries, from roughly the late Hellenistic period into the early 7th century AD. Today, its ruins stand beside one of the busiest coastlines of modern Turkey. Cars and travelers pass close to a city that once connected Anatolia to the wider eastern Mediterranean. And like so many ancient ports, much of its story is now told not by written chronicles, but by stones left beside the sea.
The forgotten world of ancient Cilicia. Anamurium, Kanlidivane, Diocaesarea, Soli-Pompeiopolis, and Elaiussa Sebaste were never isolated ruins. Together, they belonged to a much larger world. A world shaped by Mediterranean trade, local traditions, Hellenistic kingdoms, Roman power, and the rise of Christianity. Some became wealthy ports, some became sacred centers, some were built around landscapes so unusual that they still seem mysterious today. And although their political importance eventually disappeared, the cities themselves never completely vanished. Their streets remain, their columns remain, their tombs remain. And along the coast and mountains of modern Mersin, the forgotten cities of ancient Cilicia are still waiting to tell their stories. If you enjoyed this journey through the forgotten cities of ancient Cilicia, please give the video a like and subscribe to Unsolved Legends TV. There are many more lost cities, ancient mysteries, forgotten empires, and remarkable stories still waiting to be discovered. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next documentary.